Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. Watch. Numerous undercover operatives are turning up dead following a compromise in MI6's intelligence system. So, on this specific occasion, a field officer is dispatched to track down the criminal syndicate. Back in 1989, amid the tension in Berlin, a British agent named James Gascoigne races through the streets, terrified for his survival. His covert persona has been uncovered, and hostile forces are in pursuit. Just as he believes he slipped away, a vehicle blindsides him, sending him crashing to the ground. The pursuer is a KGB operative named Yuri, who scoffs at James, ridiculing his lack of awareness. Bleeding and frantic, James suspects someone known as Satchel betrayed him. Yuri wastes no time. He shoots James, snatches his wristwatch, and dumps his body off a bridge like garbage. Fast forward several days, and we're introduced to Lorraine Broughton, a fierce and unyielding MI6 operative fresh off a savage assignment. She's bruised, battered, and numbing her pain with liquor and medication. Staring at an old photo of a past flame, she tosses it into the fire, signaling her intent to move on. The following morning, she dresses sharply and heads to MI6 headquarters for a debriefing with her superior, Eric Gray. She inquires if the head of MI6, nicknamed C, is present, but Gray dodges the question. Lorraine senses he's likely observing from behind the mirrored glass. Also in the room is CIA operative Kursfeld. Lorraine requests his removal, but Gray refuses, insisting she explain what unfolded in Berlin. Lorraine inhales deeply from her cigarette and begins recounting the events from the beginning. Days earlier, she was summoned for a briefing with Gray and C, where she was told of James's demise. They believed he was taken out by the KGB. His objective had been to rendezvous with a contact named Spyglass, an East German source who had committed to memory a ledger identifying all active spies in Berlin. That document now belongs to Yuri, the same agent who murdered James, and he's earned a lethal reputation. Every major intelligence agency is now after him. Lorraine's mission: travel to Berlin, connect with the local MI6 station chief David Percival, and secure the list. She's provided a fake name, Elizabeth Lloyd, a legal representative supposedly sent by James's relatives to retrieve his remains. But her real task is to recover the list, unmask the double agent Satchel, and trust absolutely no one. Meanwhile, in East Berlin, David confronts Spyglass in a basement club and insists on the list. Spyglass says he already passed it to James and now demands safe passage for his family. David's skeptical. He hasn't heard from James and won't assist unless he sees the proof. Suddenly, the venue is stormed by police, and the two scatter. Spyglass claims to have the whole list memorized. Ambushed again, David fights his way out, steals a uniform, and orchestrates a diversion to slip into West Berlin. Lorraine reaches West Berlin shortly afterward and is picked up by a man claiming affiliation with David. She's wary but enters the vehicle. A silent man sits in the back, and she quickly realizes they're being tailed. The driver casually reveals they work for a man named Bramovich, under KGB orders. Lorraine strikes fast, kicks the passenger out of the moving car and causes the vehicle to crash. The actual David arrives late, apologizing for the confusion. He doubts Lorraine will remain in Berlin, assuming she's only there to collect James's body. But she has her own agenda. Later, David leaves a KGB corpse at his office as a blunt warning to MI6. Elsewhere, Bramovich is roughing up a group of kids he detained the night before. He randomly picks one, demands he dance, then hits him with a skateboard for sport. He hasn't heard from Yuri, and fears betrayal. He commands his men to locate Yuri and pressures the kids to reveal David's location. Meanwhile, a covert French operative named Delphine is shadowing Lorraine. When Lorraine attempts to collect James's body, she encounters trouble at the morgue due to missing paperwork. Later, back at her apartment, she senses an intruder and springs into action. It's David, who oddly praises her for not fleeing Berlin. She grills him about Spyglass and the woman trailing her, but he acts clueless. That night, Lorraine visits a craftsman who supplies spy gadgets. She wants information, but he tells her to return the next day. When she sneaks into James's former apartment, she discovers that the list also reveals Satchel's identity, the mole inside MI6. While rummaging, she finds a picture of David and James together, exposing David's lie about never knowing him. Just then, she hears a car. It's the authorities. She instantly knows David betrayed her but isn't sure why. The police break in, but Lorraine's ready. She takes out several officers, then uses wire to rappel off the balcony. On the street, she neutralizes 2 more cops attempting to arrest her. Later, she bugs herself with a transmitter before confronting David in his flat. They discuss Yuri and Spyglass, and she confronts him with the photograph. David claims he mentioned knowing James. As they stroll, Lorraine makes it clear she's not falling for his games and doesn't trust him. Next, Lorraine checks out a bistro listed on a card from the imposter KGB agents. There, she bumps into Bermovich, who probes her purpose in Berlin. Suddenly, Delphine swoops in, posing as Lorraine's girlfriend, and wards Bermovich off. She claims to be a translator and invites Lorraine to a club. Lorraine remains skeptical but accepts the address. David, unsurprisingly, is watching everything. Soon after, Lorraine revisits the watchmaker, who gives her a timepiece containing a secret note. David is eavesdropping as well. Back home, Lorraine decrypts the message. It tells her to rendezvous with someone in East Berlin. She crosses over but is warned to return by 6 p.m. or risk arrest. Meanwhile, Bermovich's goons spot her and close in. Lorraine darts into a cinema to hide. They split up to search. She sneaks around, activates an alarm, snatches car keys, and prepares her next move. She collides with one of the pursuers and drops him fast. But Bermovich's lead enforcer puts up a brutal fight. Lorraine stabs him in the face with her car keys. He claims Bermovich only wants to talk, then kicks her hard enough to send her crashing through the movie screen. She slips away unnoticed through the exit. She eventually meets a contact named Merkel, sent by the watchmaker, on a rooftop. He hasn't located Yuri either but is more concerned with identifying the rogue agent, Satchel. Merkel offers access to his limited network to help her gather intel. Elsewhere, David sees Yuri enter the watchmaker's shop. Inside, Yuri drops coded cues hinting he wants to sell the watch, hoping news spreads. Then he vanishes. Lorraine later reconnects with Delphine at a nightclub. They flirt, share a kiss, and end up in the bathroom together. That's when Lorraine draws a concealed gun on Delphine and demands answers. Delphine confesses she knows Lorraine's real identity and mission. She was also assigned to locate the list. This is her first assignment, and she's overwhelmed. Vulnerable but truthful, they spend the night together. During the debriefing, Lorraine informs Gray and Kurzfeld she only got close to Delphine to extract intel. When asked if Delphine revealed anything valuable, she lies and says no, despite Delphine revealing some truths about David. Lorraine chooses not to mention it. Meanwhile, Yuri corners David in a dim alleyway. David kills him with a screwdriver and takes the watch. After not hearing from Lorraine, Kurzfeld checks in and reminds her time is short. He also warns her to keep her distance from Delphine or face consequences. David eventually studies the list and uncovers Satchel's real identity. The revelation stuns him. He pours himself a drink. Later, he tells Lorraine to meet at a nightclub. He claims Yuri is dead and the list is missing. Now the only move is to protect Spyglass, who holds the list in memory. Unbeknownst to Lorraine, David has the list already. In the present-day briefing, Gray states that David had already informed MI6 about the list and the mole's name. Lorraine is surprised she wasn't looped in. Meanwhile, David secretly meets Bermovich, offering Satchel's identity in exchange for balance, and even tips him off about Spyglass's location. Lorraine tells Delphine she suspects David is setting her up. Delphine isn't shocked. She says in their world, relationships are merely leverage. Lorraine and David obtain documents and head to East Berlin. There, they meet Spyglass, whose family shows up too. David changes the plan. He's dressed as a cop to escort them, while Lorraine walks Spyglass through a mass of protesters. Nearby, Bermovich's men prepare for a sniper shot. Merkel signals, and umbrellas pop up from the crowd, a part of a last-minute change. Lorraine and Spyglass proceed, but he's suddenly shot. Lorraine doesn't see it, but David pulled the trigger. She spots the sniper's perch, grabs Spyglass, and carries him into a building full of KGB agents. She leaves him on the ground floor and heads to the upper levels, ready for battle. In a savage, close-quarters brawl with 2 KGB operatives, Lorraine manages to kill them both. She then grabs a rifle stock and ambushes 2 more. A pair of agents arrive, but she tricks them into entering a room. As one steps in, she shoots him in the head. She then confronts the enforcer she injured earlier. He throws her around, but she knocks him out with a hot plate. Barely staying conscious, she grabs a corkscrew. Both stagger to their feet. He chokes her until she drives the corkscrew into his eye. Lorraine and the wounded spyglass crawl to the street, hijack a police cruiser, and attempt to escape. But the same thug gives chase again. This time, she shoots him and runs him over. Another car fires at them, but she shoots back and crashes their ride. They pull over by a canal to breathe, only to be rammed, sending their car underwater. Spyglass is trapped. Despite her efforts to save him, he drowns before her eyes. She surfaces alone, disoriented and soaked. She wanders until Merkel finds her. Lorraine realizes someone's been tracking her, and she's determined to find out who. Back in West Berlin, she tears her place apart searching for surveillance. She remembers giving David her encrypted message and finds a French tracer, possibly planted to incriminate Delphine. Delphine arrives in the rain, pleading with Lorraine to leave before David frames her. Later, Delphine contacts David, threatening to reveal his betrayal. Lorraine breaks into his home, but he's gone. She finds a recording of a private chat with Delphine, proof he's been watching. Meanwhile, David attacks Delphine. She fights back and stabs him multiple times. Lorraine gets there moments later, buzzing at the door, but finds Delphine dead. She uncovers photos of David with Bramovich and realizes he has the list. David tries to flee. He torches his place and heads for his car. But a knife is lodged in his tire. Lorraine is waiting. She shoots him. As he bleeds, he says he knows her secret from the list. Lorraine takes the watch and shoots him again. At MI6 headquarters, Gray questions why she killed David. Lorraine presents altered recordings suggesting David was Satchel. She denies knowing anything about the list. The investigation is closed. 3 days later, Lorraine turns up in Paris, speaking fluent Russian. She meets Bramovich, who calls her Comrade Satchel. But before he can act on David's revelation, she eliminates his guards. She then switches to an American accent and tells Bramovich he was fed lies. She was never with the KGB, and shoots him too. Ultimately, she and Kursfeld return to the US with the list, hinting that Lorraine had been CIA all along, orchestrating every move from the shadows. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful recaps like this. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the turn of events in this storyline. And also give my video a thumbs up to further motivate me. Share too for others to enjoy. Until my next recap, cheers!